Howdy, guys, and welcome to night 64 of the Overnight Feeds recaps for Big Brother Season 24, and welcome to Cliff Notes. But just as importantly, welcome to Eviction Night. I'm so ready for it. The house guests are ready for it. Everyone's just been in standby mode. Last night, we had a few conversations, but pretty much it's everyone just preparing for this evening. Now, they don't know that it's a double eviction, but they suspect it could be the case. But they're certainly planning ahead with some of those conversations and such, and we're ready for it. It's going to get exciting, especially knowing it's double eviction. That is a live 2-hour episode. It's going to be a lot of fun this evening. So let's talk about what happened overnight. Again, some conversations that have to do with gameplay, and we'll cover those, but a lot of just sitting around and waiting as well. Now, as a reminder, we've got in preparation for the eviction tonight, Terrence and Alyssa on the block. There was a little talk during the week about, oh, could we flip it, maybe keep Terrence. Of course, most of that came from Terrence more than anyone else. But now it's with just 99.99% certainty. Terrence is going home this evening. I cannot imagine anything that would happen these last 12 hours or so that's going to change that. Terrence will be heading to the jury house as our newest juror. Alyssa survives her first time to actually be on the block on eviction night. We'll see if she survives the second one. Her name is certainly up there as one of the primary targets for the second half of tonight's double eviction. So let's talk about what was happening last night, some of the feeds, how these house guests were, because they sure don't sleep, well, except for Terrence, but the rest of them trying to figure out how to spend their time. So we'll cover all that. Now, first of all, as we come back from the TV episode that we did have last night, and we saw BB comics. It was a lot of fun seeing those comics. There are a couple of brutal ones. There were some good ones. I especially like Sprainiac with Jasmine. They hit it perfectly. There were some brutal ones as well. But we got to see the BB comics and such. We got to see Michael dominate another veto competition. As the episode's over, checking back in at the live feeds, I see Terrence lying in bed. He did a lot of that last night. Terrence lying in bed, and later he's packing his suitcase. And while he's doing that, Monty's in the shower. Everyone else is upstairs in that bumper pool tiki bar area playing Chinese checkers. Again, just being very casual. Now, Terrence spent a lot of time just hanging out in his bed last night, not really interacting with anyone else too much. It's pretty obvious that Terrence knows what's going on. He's tried to make it work. He's told everyone he's got everyone else's votes. He understands it's not working. Even the conversations he did have is pretty obvious that he's accepted his fate. At one point, he told, I think, Monty, said, yeah, I'm heading out the door. It'd be nice if I could see Michael right behind me. That would be okay as well. So he has accepted his fate, and it made for a little bit more of a chill evening. So we've got that. We do have a conversation between Monty and Terrence. Monty comes into the car bedroom where Terrence has been hanging out. Monty is calling Brittany and Alyssa the biggest floaters of all time in the game of Big Brother. Those are huge shoes to fill, given some of the floaters we've had over the years. But they're talking about both of them really have not done anything in this game whatsoever and don't really necessarily deserve to be there. Monty is saying, look, Terrence, I'd love to get them both out. And, of course, Alyssa's on the block with Terrence. They said, I would love to get both of them out. They both need to go. But he's saying, if I raise my voice too loud, I become the new target. And so I've got to be careful, Terrence. I hope you understand. Terrence is saying, nah, it's all good. We're good. I get it completely. Monty is saying that Taylor just isn't down with the final three that Monty had proposed this new family reunion and all of that. Monty had also told Taylor, said, yeah, no, we're not doing that. Yeah, but he can bring it up, but we're not doing it. Well, at this point, Monty's throwing kind of Taylor under the bus, saying, yeah, Taylor just wasn't going for it. If it was me, yeah, that's the implication. Monty's doing a little bit of jury management at this point in time. He knows Terrence is heading home, just trying to get in good with Terrence before he heads out the door, because he may need that vote here in 20-something days. So he's talking about that. Now, Monty does say also that he's been working on Taylor all week long, that Taylor just isn't seeing the red flags of working too strongly with Michael and Brittany. Doesn't realize that she's kind of the third wheel in that little grouping. And he says, I've been working on Taylor, trying to get her to see. So far, I'm not sure that she really has, but I'm going to continue to do that going forward. All right, change of pace a little bit. We got Brittany eating in the kitchen. Terrence is cooking. The most awkward. For most of this part, they're the only two in the kitchen, and there's just almost no conversation between them two. Very, just a cool atmosphere between these two. So she's eating, he's cooking, getting ready to eat. Look like some burgers and things. Look pretty good actually, but very little conversation. Of course, still more conversation in the rest of the house because the rest of the house is all in that golf bedroom, the front bedroom, napping, resting, doing anything but talking game strategy or talking at all. Everyone just spent a lot of time relaxing yesterday. We've got Brittany eventually goes into the Jetsons' bedroom to herself, giving her, I don't know if you call it self hypnosis, maybe it's not to that level, giving herself a pep talk while also talking to us and the cameras a little bit. She's talking about self hypnosis. She's saying self hypnosis has really helped her with her anxiety and paranoia in the house, that she doesn't know what she'd do without it, and how difficult it can be in the house. Absolutely agree. There's a lot of stress, a lot of paranoia. She uses self hypnosis to help with that. She is mentioning that she has won more comps than any other female this season, which basically is what, a 1.5 veto wins, I guess. She won that one veto all by herself, the counting one, county fair, and then she won one in conjunction with Michael. Which now looking back, I know she did some of the work, but when you're teamed up with Michael, that helps as well. But she's saying she's won more comps than any other female this season. That the veto that she won was against 5 other people. HOH coming up tonight, also against 5 other people. So she's saying that there's no reason that she shouldn't be able to win this HOH, especially if there's a mental component to the competition. She feels like she really has an edge, and that she is psyching herself up to win HOH tonight because she knows how vital it is. Vital both from protecting herself. She knows she's at risk. So it's vital both from protecting herself, but also if she was to make it to final 2 and wanted to throw some kind of pitch to the jury that they would listen to, she's got to have some wins. She's got have a little bit more to her resume. She has to be able to argue that she was able to protect Michael when he wasn't able to protect himself by winning an HOH when he's vulnerable. So she needs this HOH from a resume standpoint and just to protect her rear end as well standpoint. So she's trying to get herself worked up to that. She is, as I mentioned, she knows she's at risk. She's thinking that she and Michael could go up this evening, or they don't know, it's a double for certain, but she thinks she and Michael could go up at nomination. And then if Michael wins veto, suddenly it's probably her versus Taylor on the block. She's trying to count up the votes, thinking, well, maybe I could survive against Taylor, but it's certainly not a guarantee. So she's worried. Now, she does mention that if she wins HOH, she's putting up Monty and Turner. It's nice when you talk to the camera so we hear some actual plans instead of 101 different scenarios and alliances like we've heard for the last 24, 36 hours. But she's saying, if I win HOH, Monty and Turner are going up. She's starting to practice her days, what happened on such and such a day, just in case it's one of those kind of competitions tonight. It won't be because it's a double and it's going to be fast, but I guess it could be. I don't think it will be. So she's practicing that, though. Eventually, Michael comes in. He starts talking to Brittany a little bit. Brittany is just wanting to make sure Michael understands. She says, look, Terrence is telling everyone that he's got my vote. She said, I hope you know that's not true. I'm not. All I said was he really needed to win veto. And she said, but he's just taken everything and tried to imply other things. He does not have my vote tonight. Michael saying, I know he doesn't. He's told everyone he's got everyone else's vote, it seems like. She is amazed that Terrence has told all these people that he has such and such person's vote, and then telling someone else that he has that other person's vote. And she says, I'm just amazed that Terrence doesn't think people won't compare notes in this house. Well, people have been comparing notes about what Brittany said over the past 36 hours or so as well, and finding a few discrepancies. So as amazed as she is at Terrence, there's other people in the house that are very amazed that Brittany doesn't think people are comparing notes versus what she says. So yeah, it kind of goes both ways there. All right, we've got Turner and Taylor talking a little bit. Taylor is saying that she would consider putting up Brittany if she wins HOH, as rough as that is, and she says it's just based on what's happened here in the last day or two. Would she? Would she not? Is she just telling Turner this just because, or truly does she feel like there's been a little bit of a break with Brittany? I don't know. I think given the opportunity, Taylor would continue to try to work with Brittany, but now she's got some reasoning if she had to put Brittany on the block to protect herself. She's got some justifications to potentially do so. So I feel like Taylor's kind of riding the line a little bit on it. But she's telling Turner, saying, look, if I need to, if I win HOH, if it just works out that way, veto wins and all that, yeah, I'll put up Brittany. I'm okay with that. Turner's saying if he was HOH, that he would put up Brittany as a target, and then he would just have to pawn someone, find someone to go up next to her. But Brittany would absolutely be the target. He is saying that he hopes, because Brittany has basically worked out a final two or some kind of alliance with every single person in the house, he's hoping that's going to backfire on her a little bit, and that he's hoping that she's going to assume that she's fairly safe this week and therefore may not be gunning for the HOH as much as she would otherwise. Well, I don't think that's the case based on what we just heard Brittany talking about. At this point in time, who isn't going to be fighting for this HOH? Especially when they find out it's a double and everything can go so fast. Like, now everyone's going to be getting that 100%, and that's including Brittany. All right, we've got a group in the kitchen prepping for dinner. They're talking about their intro videos they did that we saw in the premiere episode, who they thought maybe was the loudest or the most confident, things like that. They're talking about watching the premiere episode. Would they do it together? Are they going to cringe hearing their voices? Just a lot of things, wondering how they're going to be portrayed on TV. You wonder about that a lot while you're in that house. But they're also talking a little bit about this double. I think it's Michael who says, it could be tonight or tomorrow night. He said, but I really hope it's next week. I'd rather us go from 6 to 4 in a double as opposed to 7 and 5 with a double eviction. Well, guess what, Michael? It's going from 7 to 5, and it's happening tonight. All right. While that's going on, we've got Terrence still in bed, relaxing. He's giving a shout out to the original Pancake House, several locations in Chicago, and he goes out of his way to detail the address of each and every one of them. I think he's a fan of the original Pancake House. I think I could be a fan of the original Pancake House. I'm going to have to go up and visit and try it out. But he's talking about that. But on a more serious note, he's talking about his wife and when he proposed to her and driving around and going to Kay's jeweler and shopping around, finding the ring he wanted. So telling the story about that. And that was interesting to listen to. I liked hearing about the pancakes as well. All right, we've got Turner and Monty in the Jetsons room. They're comparing notes on their talk. They both talked to Taylor today, so they're comparing notes on that. They're basically realizing that the whole house is on board with putting Brittany up. And I think it's Turner who says, look, or Monty, I think it's Monty, who says, look, even if she doesn't go home, I think she at least needs to be touching the block this week, as Turner said. She needs to touch the block. We've got a perfect reason to put her up now. So, yeah, we've got our target at this point in time. Monty's wrestling with what happens if Turner or Monty were to win the veto and had control after the initial nominations. He's saying, look, I think if I won that veto, I'd have to put Michael up. He said if I did it, we could potentially send Michael out. He said at the same time, if we did it and we didn't put Taylor up, it builds some more trust with Taylor, which may help us next week. He said, I don't think I could not do it if the opportunity presented itself. But he says, but until that happens, until I win that veto and I'm faced with that choice, until then, we need to try to stay tight with Michael and make sure we're protected, make sure that we're all trying to work together until we get canceled. We get the group beginning a big game of hide and seek. We did it during my season as well. Not a lot of hiding places in the Big Brother house, but there are a few, and Turner found one of them. Turner is definitely the champ. Turner ends up spending about 20 minutes hiding. No one can find him, to the point that they basically just give up because he has disappeared. Well, it turns out he's hiding in the storage cabinet in the storage room, the very back cabinet, while all the house guests are out in the kitchen talking about how it's impossible to find him. The camera keeps zooming in on this one storage cabinet. Eventually, they aren't even trying at this point. Eventually, the Big Brother comes over the speakers and says, please go to the storage room. They go in there thinking, oh, maybe we got alcohol or avocados or something like that. And it turns out that Turner was getting so hot and cramped up in his cabinet, he asked Big Brother to call him in, and he reveals his hiding place. And Turner is the hide and go seek champion of 2022. So there you go. Doesn't come with any money, but he's a hide and seek champion. All right. After that, we've got we got Taylor talking kind of a disturbing little talk about Squid Game and the concept of what if Big Brother was more like Squid Game, and as every person gets evicted. They don't, the house guests don't realize it, but you don't actually get to sent to a jury house. They just shoot and kill you. And when it's the final two, the last person gets evicted. The winner hears the gunshot and realizes that everyone, that's the only person that's left alive. Yeah, pretty brutal. I'll try out a lot of reality TV. I think I'm going to pass on that one. But we've got that. We've got Alyssa and Michael making banana bread. Alyssa has suddenly become the baker, and I don't know if it's because she was called dead weight and useless, and so she's trying to help around the kitchen, or she's just completely bored and found something that she enjoys. But Alyssa and Michael are making banana bread while the rest of the house guests are sitting around talking about who would do best on The Amazing Race, who would be perfect partners with each other, who would drive each other crazy if they were on that game show, and some things like that. From there, we move on to a whole lot of playing games of category. They're sitting around the dining room table doing that, and the kitchen island and everything. Eventually, they get to another round of throwing out barely expired food in the main refrigerator, the storage room refrigerator, because every night after the HOH competitions, Thursday nights in the middle of the night is when the storage rooms are restocked. So they're cleaning everything out in preparation for that. They just get rid of a lot of food. All right, we've got Michael and Turner talking. Michael's asking if Turner talked to Terrence any, and he says, no, not really. And Michael's saying, Terrence really didn't talk to anyone today. Well, it's because he understands what's getting ready to happen. He stopped at the campaigning. He knows, he sees the writing on the wall. Turner is reporting Taylor's mention that she would put up Brittany if she got the opportunity, and Michael seems on board. Michael knows that everyone's whispering about Brittany. He can't necessarily protect her. Now, if he wins veto, he may pull her off. Yeah, he's of course it depends on if Michael's on the block as well, right? But he's hearing Turner say that he'll put that Taylor as well would put up Brittany if she had the opportunity. They eventually talk a little bit about this group of four, which is Turner and Michael and Monty and Taylor. This new alliance, I guess, saying, yeah, let's all get together a little bit later and we'll talk. And they actually do that. In fact, they do it almost immediately. They move upstairs to the HOH room. Again, this is Turner and Michael and Monty and Taylor. So the three guys and Taylor comparing notes and talking about what's going to happen going forward, especially knowing that it could be a double eviction. So we'll make sure they're all in agreement ahead of time. And the agreement is that Terrence is going home. Terrence has accepted his fate. They're all good with that. The other agreement is they start talking about Brittany, how she's just having a meltdown. She's kind of going haywire a little bit, I think was Monty's words. Turner talking about Brittany has basically outed every single person's game. There's no secrets left in the house because Brittany, in the process of trying to get alliances with everyone, has also spilled everyone else's secrets to everyone. So everyone is exposed for the most part. So they're talking about that. Taylor's saying that Brittany really seems to also have distanced herself from Taylor. She says, yeah, I just don't feel like she's necessarily as close to me as she was. She's just changed here lately. Monty is saying, look, if I'm HOH or if one of y'all want to hear my opinion, I think Brittany and Alyssa need to go on the block. Turner's saying, I'm fine with that, Brittany and Alyssa as well. He said, but I'm friends with Alyssa. I really don't want her to go home. I want her to be safe. I wouldn't want her on the block unless we absolutely know that Brittany is going home. But beyond that, yeah, I'm fine as well, as long as Brittany's up on the block as well. Everyone else is in agreement. Every single person in there says, all right, that's the plan. Brittany and Alyssa, whoever, if anyone here wins HOH, those are the two we'll put up. We'll see what happens with veto and all of that, but that is the plan. Michael is talking about the fact, he's saying, yeah, I agree with it as well. I'm glad that I'm HOH, so I can't compete for this next HOH. He says, because I wouldn't want to, he said, Brittany and I are friends and we've been close. And he said, I wouldn't want to be the one that has to put her on the block and send her out the door. He said, but I understand the way she's been. I can't protect her forever. And I agree with it as well. I'm just glad it's not going to be on my watch that it happens. But even Michael is ready, at least in conversations with these three, to send Brittany out the door if it so occurs. Now, if somehow someone won an HOH and they did not put Brittany and Michael on the block together, and Michael was to win veto, I think he'd pull Brittany off, which would probably force Alyssa out the door. But beyond that, now surely anyone who wins HOH, I don't know, they've all agreed, Brittany and Alyssa. So So perhaps Michael does get the chance to win the veto, pull Brittany off, sends Alyssa out, and they get a little bit more time in the house. If I'm one of these guys, forget putting Alyssa up. I'm putting Michael and Brittany so that Michael can't pull Brittany off as well. We'll see what happens tonight. I don't know. Well, again, it's so hard to see who's really telling the truth and who's just playing along at the point. Eventually, the discussion turns to all stars, who maybe could get on the show from this season. They talk about their diary rooms, who they think is the most loud, and what kind of personality they have in the diary room versus real life versus the life in the house. They're talking about the jurors that are already in the jury house, wondering what kind of voters they'll be. Are they going to be bitter jurors? Are they going to maybe recognize good gameplay? They just don't know. They're talking about their comics, who liked which ones, etc. A lot of non-strategic game talk at that point in time. And then finally, they start breaking up. I think the house guest, I think Taylor does a little cleanup as she did last night as well. Finally, she's in bed. Everyone else is in bed by 5:30 or so. I don't remember if that was Houston or Big Brother time. Anyway, it was another late night. But eventually everyone gets in bed in preparation for this evening. So in summary, Terrence is going home. I think Brittany and Alyssa are going on the block unless one of them wins HOH, obviously. But other than that, they're probably going on the block. And Brittany could easily see her days numbered. Brittany and Terrence could be sharing a ride to the jury house, or it could be Alyssa and Terrence. We're going to find out tonight. It's going to be a fantastic 2-hour episode. It better be. We'll certainly get to see the next HOH, the next veto competition. We probably will not see then the next HOH. That'll probably be later in the evening, and we'll probably miss that. But we're going to see 2 people going home tonight. It's going to be great. Guys, y'all have a fantastic Thursday. It's eviction night. Y'all have a great one. I will be back tomorrow to talk about everything that went down, who went out the door, who may be in trouble, and we'll talk about it all tomorrow. Till then, guys, SKD 143. Cheers, my friends. Bye.